If you're a woman that's done playing games, if you are decided that you want to find your life partner finally, then brace yourself because I've prepared a thorough list of signs that will show you whether he's the right guy for you or not. My goal is to make this really easy for you. For each sign, I've added specific questions you need to answer to really identify if this person matches it. Before I dive into the signs, I want to talk about how I used to date and how I noticed that most people date in our modern world. I really think that our dating is influenced by all these romantic movies we watch. And from my experience, I realized that this honestly is not the most optimal way for dating. And I want to explain why. The most common way of dating is chemistry based. So you feel a physical pull towards someone, you feel infatuated, and you think, well, that must be the one. I have such strong feelings towards that person, I just cannot explain it. But unfortunately, this way of dating can be detrimental for you if you don't really understand the reasons behind the chemistry. During our lifetime, we experience many situations, and some of those situations cause us more intense feelings, and oftentimes we don't know how to process those feelings, how to process the experiences we go through. And the sign that an experience is not processed is if something happens and you continue playing that thing over and over in your head. This causes us to gather so much unresolved baggage in our bodies, and nature, including the human animals, wants to heal itself. Nature naturally starts recovering when something is wounded. Like when you fall and get a wound, you notice how that wound starts healing by itself over time. The chemistry we feel towards people is basically, to a large extent, caused because of this. We are attracted to people that remind us of those unresolved experiences, those emotional wounds, so that we can finally complete the process of healing and continue on with our lives. So choosing a partner based on chemistry can be honestly very detrimental for some of us, especially if we have some big unresolved trauma, because this will cause us to be attracted to people that can be very dangerous or that can hurt us really badly. That's why I encourage people to choose their partners based on these signs that I'm going to share with you, because that ensures that they will have safe as possible environment in which they can work through anything unresolved and don't create further trauma for themselves. And having such list helps reduce the confusion and the uncertainty in your life. Dating just becomes more fun because you know exactly what to do and how to evaluate the people that you date. Sign number 1. He matches your love list. What's a love list? A love list is the qualities you deeply desire in your partner. So when you imagine the perfect person for you, you can describe them with those qualities. And I know that some of you will have lots of requirements, which is okay. But in order for this framework to work, I really encourage you to think about what would be the top 3 non-negotiable qualities of your ideal man. and evaluate the people that you date based on those 3 qualities. So basically, do not date men that do not have those top 3 qualities. The way I used these qualities during my dating was that I would not date men that did not match those top 3 qualities. I still knew what's the full love list, which had like around 10 qualities, but I would still date people even if they didn't have some of the non-top 3 qualities, just so I could date a bigger variety of men. And who knows, it could turn out that I actually really like spending time with someone that has different qualities. So, for example, mine were that he's kind-hearted, he's intelligent, educated, and he's financially stable. So I would date only men that were those 3 qualities. If you want to know more about the love list, I have a video specifically for how to create a love list, and I'm going to share it in the description box, or you can find it in the playlist. The question you need to answer here is, does he match the must-have qualities in my love list? I also want to highlight that you need to also ask yourself, are you the reciprocal of those qualities you want in your partner? And if you're not, it's a perfect opportunity for you to start training on that before entering the relationship. By reciprocal, I mean, for example, if you want a really masculine man that's gonna lead the relationship, then you need to be able to surrender. If you want a provider, then you need to be able to receive. Sign number 2, your values match. So everyone has a different set of values. Some people value adventure, other people value inner peace and comfort, some people value both. So it's really helps the relationship when your values are matching, or if they're different, because of course everyone is unique and it's normal that we have different values. At least they're not such a huge mismatch. Some of the values we have are more important than others, and those really important values are actually the ones that you need to pay attention to when you're choosing your partner. Think of it this way: attraction brings people together, but shared values are what makes it possible to continue this connection in the long term. Because attraction might fade sometimes, and you need other things that will keep you together happy when that happens. Shared values are that thing. Let me give you an example. When I met my fiance, it was clear that he wanted to have a family, and I also wanted to have a family with children. So this is a really strong match in values. Another example, I really value making a positive impact in the world. So my work is important for me. And my fiance is the same. He really values working and doing useful things. Because of that, oftentimes both of us are focused in our works, and none of us feels really left out when we can't pay attention to each other constantly. Of course, we have certain days each week when we spend quality time together, but we know that outside of these times, it's okay if we are not fully focused on each other. We also have some value mismatches, but they're not so fundamental that they interfere with our relationship. I am a bigger nature lover than him. He usually prefers comfort and luxury. So whenever we travel, we don't get to spend the majority of our times in the nature, and that's totally fine with me. because I also enjoy comfort and luxury. I don't fully give up on nature. I just spend more time in nature together with my friends, and that's fine with me. Here's a question that will help you find out if your values are matching at the fundamental level. If nothing changed, would I be happy with this dynamic in 5 years? And the way to find out what are the values of a person is by looking at their actions. Actions speak louder than words. Look at their life. Are they more career oriented? Are they more artistic, or do they do both? You can also ask them open questions like, what does a good life look like for you? What would you never compromise on? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? But most importantly, just observe them. How they spend time, money, and energy reveals way more than what a conversation can uncover. Sign number 3, he's the right one for you. He suits your nervous system. This means that you feel calm when you think about him, when you're around him. He's consistent, his words and actions are aligned, he doesn't keep you guessing, you don't really have to chase him in any way, he just shows up and pursues you. A man that really wants you won't show up as perfect for a short amount of time and then disappear. He will be steady and consistent in his actions towards you. So if you often feel anxious and unsure and confused with this person as to his intentions towards you, this means that your nervous system is reacting to his inconsistency. This is not love. And I honestly recommend you to not waste your time and continue dating other people. Of course, we people evolve, so he might change his mind and behavior at some point, but I believe that a woman that truly respects herself and her time would never wait for a man that hasn't shown that he's committed to her. And commitment for me means marriage. If you have unresolved trauma and emotional wounds, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you probably will think healthy men are boring. So I really recommend you to continue dating those boring men, even if you don't feel any attraction towards them. Because as you become healthier and healthier, you will start being attracted to them anyways. I can guarantee you. The question to ask yourself here is, am I feeling secure, or do I often wait for clarity or effort? Sign number 4, you don't have to chase or convince. I've heard this quite often, even from men, that men usually know you're the one from the first date. So there's just no point, it's just a waste of time trying to convince a man that you're the one for him. If someone doesn't think you're the one, just move on to the next person. I guarantee you that at some point you will find the one that you don't have to convince. And I know from an experience, because I was there too, that if you have fear of rejection or fear of abandonment, it will be very hard to believe that someone might just want you without you having to do anything, without having to audition and show you how amazing you are. But the most effective thing you can do is work on this fear of rejection and abandonment, process these feelings, and you will never have to chase a man or anyone in that regard. I'd also like to point out that men are evolutionarily wired to pursue women. They are just so attracted to women. Like, if you really think about it, it doesn't make logical sense, but they're just really, really attracted to women. If you manage to turn off his mind and evoke his emotions, like get an emotional reaction from him, he will worship the ground you walk on. Imagine the average man. He goes to work every day, spends there half of his awake time. He's having head-to-head logical conversations with his colleagues. And then he goes on a date with a woman that's enjoying herself. She's all glammed up, all shiny and glittery. Nothing logical about that. She's just oozing pleasure and feminine energy. That's the time when he gets to experience some magic, some romance in his everyday life. This is why when a woman is like that, a man would do anything for her, because the experience he gets when he's with her is just magic. So each man has different preferences for a woman, and usually they do not choose the woman based on logic. They choose it based on their feelings towards her. So the best thing you can do is work on your own state, be in your pleasure, and the right man will feel it and will step up. So ask yourself, do I feel chosen by this man, or am I auditioning? Sign number 5. He has a purpose and stability in his life. So this isn't about money or status. It's about stability. Inner stability reflects in the financial stability of a person. Financial stability is a reflection of inner stability. It shows discipline, responsibility, ability to think beyond the present moment. And this is very important. These are like pillars of the healthy masculine energy. When a man has a sense of direction, whether through his job or clear goals, it creates a sense of safety, because you don't have to wonder where things are going. Your nervous system can relax in his presence. And this doesn't mean that he has to have everything figured out. Most of us don't have everything figured out. But it just means that he has this way of thinking that's long-term oriented. He has some idea where he wants to be in his future, and he's actually doing something to get there. Let me give you an example with my fiance. So when I met him, he was in a transition period in his career. He wasn't in the job that he knows he's gonna be all his life. He wanted something else, but despite that, he has some idea where he wants to be, and he puts in the effort to actually achieve that. And he also has backup plans, like if this doesn't work out. One of his personal rules is that he has enough savings for 1 year, so even if he doesn't have a job, he will be able to provide for us. Clear signs that he's got stability figured out is that he can show up consistently, he can hold responsibility, he doesn't live in constant crisis, and he thinks long term, not just about today's comfort. So if he doesn't already have the stability created for himself, like having a house, having a business or career, then he at least needs to be showing that he's moving forward in life and he's trying to get there. So ask yourself, does he think beyond today or mostly live in the moment? And can he follow through on commitments? These were the 5 signs that he's the right one for you. I hope this brings as much clarity as it brought to me while I was dating. Have a wonderful day.